1893, under the dazzling lights and alluring promise of the Chicago World's Fair, a man was quietly constructing what would become one of the most horrifying nightmares in American history, known to the world as Dr. Henry Howard Holmes, born Herman Webster Mudgett, and remembered as America's first modern serial killer. On the surface, Holmes appeared to be a refined gentleman, impeccably dressed, soft-spoken, and armed with a pharmacy degree that earned him trust and admiration. He blended into society with ease, using his intelligence and charisma as tools of manipulation. But behind this charming facade hid a twisted genius who fused architecture with murder, engineering with evil. On 63rd Street, Holmes built a three-story brick structure he called the Castle. Though it looked like an ordinary hotel from the outside, inside it was a labyrinth of horror. Soundproof rooms, secret corridors, windowless chambers, gas lines controlled remotely, trapdoors, staircases that led nowhere, doors that opened to brick walls, and elevator shafts that dropped victims straight into the basement, his private slaughterhouse. Down below, Holmes had equipped a full-fledged dissection room. Here, he would strip flesh from bone, preserve organs in jars of formaldehyde, and sell skeletons and body parts to medical schools under the guise of science. This basement was not merely a place of disposal. It was a grotesque factory of death, where corpses were monetized and medical curiosity masked savagery. Drawn by the glamour of the World's Fair, thousands of young single women flooded Chicago, many of whom were lured by Holmes with false job offers, romantic promises, or insurance scams. He was strategic in his choices, targeting the vulnerable, the isolated, and the hopeful. Once inside the castle, escape was impossible. Victims were locked in airtight rooms and suffocated with gas, their final screams absorbed by soundproof walls. Some were burned in specially designed cremation chambers, others chemically dissolved. To avoid suspicion, Holmes often sent forged letters to the families of his victims, claiming they had moved away to start new lives, cleverly covering his tracks with chilling efficiency. But in 1894, after murdering his longtime associate Benjamin Pittezel and subsequently killing Pittezel's 3 children in a gruesome effort to secure an insurance payout, Holmes's carefully constructed world began to crumble. The murders were more than crimes. They were acts of control, coldly calculated and stripped of empathy. Arrested in Philadelphia during an insurance fraud investigation, Holmes eventually confessed to 27 murders, though experts estimate the real number could exceed 200. Even on trial, Holmes showed little remorse. Cold, calculated, and eerily composed, he played with the press and the public, offering contradictory confessions, turning his crimes into a perverse spectacle. As his execution date approached, he etched tally marks into his cell wall. Some believe to count the days, others think they were symbolic trophies. And on May 10, 1896, moments before his hanging, his final words were chilling. "Take your time. I don't wish to be hurried." Even in the face of death, he maintained control. Holmes's castle mysteriously burned down in 1895, just months before his execution, but legends say his ghost still lingers in Chicago. Some claim to hear screams echoing through old alleyways. Others speak of shadows dancing across the remnants of 63rd Street, phantoms of the past refusing to fade. But perhaps the most terrifying truth is that Holmes was not just a killer. He was the prototype of the modern serial murderer. He used the anonymity of industrialized cities and the tools of progress to turn murder into a systematic craft. He exploited technology, urban sprawl, and social disconnect to vanish in plain sight. He wasn't a myth. He wasn't a ghost story. He was real, a nightmare born in the heart of 19th century America. His crimes were not only acts of violence but reflections of a darker age dawning. One where killers could wear masks of civility, and where cities themselves could become hunting grounds. If stories like this intrigue you, subscribe to Killer Archives for more tales from the dark corners of history. Share your thoughts below. Was H.H. Holmes a monster, or a mirror of his time? Until next time, stay curious.